everybody to Assistant TV. And I'm your host, Quemaine Nichols, and I thank you again for tuning in because the message I'm pushing, the movement I'm pushing is I'm extremely passionate about. So it's something I'm going to be doing from now on. So, and with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because all the content is geared towards that, geared towards empowering the men in Americans and just bringing us together and creating something bigger than what we're accustomed to. And with that being said, I feel like the key to that, the foundation of it is recognizing that we don't have an identity. And the way of doing it is by educating ourselves, learning our history, learning history tailored with that's not tailored to fit a Eurocentric point of view. And I'm not creating separation with my videos. I like to stress that because it's not just about I'm just trying to bind. I'm trying to bind Middle Americans behind something. It could be behind history. Because once it's learned, it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore while we celebrate July 4th after you learn that a large number of colored people fought in the War of 1776 and was promised freedom. And after they fought, they was sold right back into slavery. I got quotes in this book with individuals who fought in the War of 1776, was by July 4th is celebrated. And he's expressing shame and guilt about how after he fought this war, sacrificed his life for it, he was sold right back into slavery. And it's a mockery how this country celebrated this day for independence. It made, enslaving his people. I would dig through the chapters and get the direct quote, but I don't want to make that the direct like message of this video because I'm aiming to get a bigger point across at this moment, and that bigger point is the lack of identity because honestly we identify as Americans, and it's so hard to me to recognize the dichotomy in that because it is a large number of us who recognizes the victimhood that our ancestors suffered, which did happen. But the only reason we continue to suffer for it because we are constantly reminded that it happened because we are constantly suffering the effects of being robbed of a culture and not sticking together and being and living in the, the, the circumstances and the environment that we created since then. Well, I would say that we created because there's also external factors that had a hand in influencing the morale and the conditioning of the black neighborhood, black communities. But although that did happen, we still have no excuses on why we continue to live in ignorance and to continue to glorify uh, 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 us as a culture that destroyed us, for lack of a better word. And that's what it did. And that's what we do every time we come together behind European holidays because that's what the holiday is about. The holiday is actually there to celebrate a moment in history that transpired on this day that acknowledges something. Well, not something in the majority of the cases. It's a European monument or what can I say, topic, for lack of better words, that's being remembered on these dates. And we, as melanin people, get right in the mix with it, for lack of better words. And that's odd to me because it's the only time, like I said once before, that it's really you see that vibe. We embrace each other on the positive vibe, and we put everything else to the side for those small moments. It's the only time it happened. And I say that because I've been in South Park my whole life, and that's what I see, is what I observe. Is it has it, and but I can honestly and say in modern times it has been getting better. But at the same time, we still don't bind. We still don't connect. We still ain't got no culture. We still ain't got no identity. And that's what I'm trying to help us build together. And I'm not trying to lead it with my own opinion. I'm trying to gather the opinions of all so we can meet somewhere and go up from there. And like I said, that being my mission, like and subscribe if you behind it, you with the content, I'm going to keep it coming. And I thank anyone and everyone who's been tuning in and giving me their ear. I love you. Much blessings to you. Thank you, man. And rock out the rest of the day. The best of your abilities.